Hey guys, it's Kim from Honey Trail Farm. I'm in the greenhouse again today. This is where I spend most of my time in the spring. But I've got a tray of, I've got a tray of some of my greenhouse tomatoes that I have here started. I'm gonna make a video telling you all about all the varieties that I'm growing here soon. I'm still waiting on a couple seed orders. Surprise, surprise. But I've got a tray of some heirlooms that I'm gonna grow for the greenhouse. I've already potted up about 100 seedlings, and I didn't turn the camera on, so I figured that I should turn the camera on and show you how I do these. This is the first year that I've done my tomatoes in the cell blocks actually, and I'm probably not gonna do it any other way. So if you are like a small gardener and you just need to start a few, then I would just start them in the pot that they're going to grow in. That's really easy. But if you're like me and you need to start a ton and save room on your heat mat, I highly recommend these, the small soil blocker first. Look how great that is. A lot of small farmers, like market farmers, really like hybrids, and I'm going to try a couple. So I bought one hybrid slicer and one hybrid cherry, but you guys, I love an heirloom tomato. I like a story, I like a color, I like to be able to save the seed is a big deal for me, and so I'm still gonna majority grow heirlooms, and you can't tell me not to. I know that production might be better on a hybrid, but I will always make the room to grow heirlooms. These are kind of like my go-to, I guess, because these are what I picked to go in the greenhouse to have early slicers. Dr. Witchy, of course, like a large yellow. Cherokee Green, which is my all-time favorite green tomato. If you haven't tried it, you got to. Pink Berkeley Tie-Dye, also one of my very favorite tomatoes. Anana's Noir, I tried for the first time last year, and I really like the flavor. I like the look of her. The plant was healthy. Thornburn Terracotta is actually one of my favorite. It's always on my must grow list. And one that was new to me last year, but it made the must grow list, is a watermelon beefsteak. I got the seeds from My Gardener, I believe. But it just made these humongous, like giant, healthy, like a pinkish red slicer, and it had really good flavor. And the plant made a ton of these giant tomatoes, and now she's gained a spot on my must grow list. I'm gonna stop talking and start potting up tomatoes. Luckily, tomatoes are super forgiving of having their roots disturbed because a tomato plant can actually produce roots all the way up its stem. So they'll be fine even when I have to tease these apart to kind of rip the roots in half. They won't mind too much. They might look sad for a couple days, but they'll bounce back. The ideal time to pot up your tomato seedlings, if you started them either in a pot a bunch at once or in these little soil blocks, is when they get their first set of true leaves. You want to get their roots a little bit established, but not so established that they're all tangled together and it's hard to get them apart. How I pot up my tomatoes every time, no matter if they're this small or a foot tall, I always bury the stem, because tomatoes actually grow roots from their stem really well. All these little hairs. Let me see if I can focus. All the little hairs on the tomato stem, those will actually grow roots. And so tomatoes, to have really good strong root systems, I always bury the stem. So I'll probably bury it up to here. So what that looks like in a soil block, because the dibble on the soil blocker is only like this little square, I will stick my finger in there to make a bigger hole and just sit it down in there. I have potted up about 20 of these seedlings, and I better write the name on a tag before I forget what they are. So I'm gonna finish potting up the rest of my tomatoes. I just wanted to show you guys how I did it. If you want to try. If you do try soil blocks this year, follow me on Instagram and tag me in what you're doing, because I would love to make new gardener friends on there. That's the platform I'm really most active on, is Instagram, for like everyday stuff. So yeah, go follow my Instagram and let's be garden friends. So I'm gonna get off here and pot up the rest. I have about 80 more tomatoes to pot up, so I'm gonna be busy. And today's my dad's birthday, so I only have a couple hours before we go do birthday dinner. So hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Until next time.